Hi, my name is Nabeeha Qadri, and this is my trip around the world in 90 days. First, I took a flight from St. Paul, Minnesota, and flew to France. Next, I went to Pakistan, and then ended my trip in Zimbabwe. In each country, I visited two different sites, which helped me to understand more of the country's history and culture. I started my trip in France, the most visited country in the world. I learned a few phrases in French, as it's the official language. Many people must speak it there, as it has a population of 67 million, yet it's slightly smaller than the state of Texas. So I converted my US dollars for euros, and I was off. The first place I visited was Versailles, which oozes the history of France and its monarchs, who had a pivotal role in forming the democracy France is today. From its construction in 1661, royals from Louis XIV to Louis XVI lived there, including Marie Antoinette, the infamous queen, who was beheaded. Also, the famous Hall of Mirrors resides in Versailles, where 357 mirrors line a vast hall, many of them the original mirrors from the 18th century. The second place I visited was Le Mont Saint-Michel. I chose this location because of its beautiful architecture and because it's the site of a unique natural occurrence. In 966, the abbey we see today was built. So over 1,300 years, it was added to, rebuilt, and repaired. So it is pretty old. Le Mont Saint-Michel turns into an island twice a month as water from the English Channel surrounds it and creates the largest tides in Europe, about 160 feet. Of course, before leaving France, I had to visit all the other iconic sites, such as the Eiffel Tower, the Arc de Triomphe, Champs-Élysées, and the most famous painting in the world, the Mona Lisa, at the Louvre. The second country I traveled to was Pakistan, and the good thing is that I already know Urdu, one of the official languages. Also, most of my family lives there, so in addition to sightseeing, I could play with my cousins. I love Pakistan because its culture and people formed the foundation for who I am today. First, I went to the Lahore Fort. I chose this location because it is an incredible preservation of historic palaces and buildings, like the Lahore Fort, Badshahi Mosque, and the 21 other surrounding buildings. These buildings are remnants of the Mughal Empire, which ruled most of India and Pakistan in the 16th and 17th centuries. Emperor Akbar the Great built the fort in 1566, and later Shah Jahan, also the emperor who built the Taj Mahal, added features. The Sheesh Mahal is considered one of the most beautiful palaces. It is inlaid with glass mosaics, precious stones, and marble screening. Next, I visited the Quaid-e-Azam Mazar. This mausoleum contains the tomb of Quaid-e-Azam Muhammad Ali Jinnah, the founder of Pakistan. Not only that, but the architecture of the mazar is astounding. Muhammad Ali Jinnah is one of the reasons Pakistan is a country today. I loved Pakistan, and I had to get a souvenir before I left, so I grabbed a bottle of Face Fresh beauty cream. And I was off to my next adventure. I was excited to go to Zimbabwe, the last country I visited, as I did not know much about its culture and people. Also, I was extremely thrilled with the prospect of visiting the world's biggest waterfall, Victoria Falls. Not only that, but I had to learn how to say hi in 15 languages, because Zimbabwe has a Guinness World Record for the most official languages. The first place I visited was Matobo Hills, and I chose Matobo Hills because it has the most rock art in southern Africa, and the art dates back 13,000 years. Matobo Hills contains beautiful rock formations, and evidence shows that Matobo Hills has been occupied for more than 500,000 years. Matobo in the local language Nabadele means bald heads, a reference to the boulders in the area. Next, I went to Victoria Falls, the largest waterfall in the world. About 15 million liters of water fall down the waterfall per minute. I loved Zimbabwe, but it was time to go back home to Minnesota. While I was in Zimbabwe, I learned that many people do not have access to clean drinking water. The water infrastructure in Harare, the capital of Zimbabwe, was developed in the 1950s and was only meant to serve 300,000 people. Today, the current population of Harare is 1.4 million, 15 times the people it was intended for. Tap water is unsafe to drink because of faulty government management and not enough resources or money to repair the water infrastructure. Throughout the city, sewage pipes leak into drinking water pipes, which is an extreme health hazard and led to the fatal cholera outbreak in 2008. In 2013, the government got a $144 million loan from the Chinese government, with 46 Chinese engineers coming to improve the sewage treatment plants, but even with that, the issue wasn't fully solved. Only 20% of the 220 million people living in Pakistan have access to clean drinking water. Due to unsustainable ways of irrigation for agriculture, excessive pumping of groundwater, and ineffective government management, hundreds of gallons of water are wasted. Pakistan became a water-stressed country in 1990 and is predicted to become a water-scarce country by 2025. In some parts of Pakistan, water doesn't come from a water tower or wells, as it does here. Instead, tankers come and fill up a tank underneath the house. That water is only suitable for taking a shower, washing clothes and dishes, washing hands, etc. We'd have to boil the water to drink it. Like at my grandmother's house, we get these huge plastic Nestle water containers from which we can drink water. But Pakistan has provided water to more than 44 million people since 2000 and is one of the most improved nations for reaching people for safe water. Many non-profit organizations, such as Pani Project, built 250 wells in the most high-risk villages across Pakistan. I had so much fun on my trip, and I hope you enjoyed listening to all the awesome things I did. Thanks for watching.